Now let's talk about the Twitter hacking controversy. It seems to be a far larger issue. Sources say that hacker took over the entire email system of the Congress party, and internal emails were also hacked. After Rahul Gandhi's Twitter account was hacked, the hacker once again took over the party's official handle and posted derogatory comments about the Congress vice president. The hackers even threatened to make public of the emails that they have been able to get in their possession. The Congress party handle was compromised soon after Rahul Gandhi filed a complaint with the cyber cell of the Delhi police. Reports also suggest that Rahul Gandhi's account has been compromised for a second time in a row. The Delhi police have filed an FIR into the hacking, and they have also launched an investigation into the same.
Look, some things are inevitable in the cyber world. Hacking happens to everyone. It's happened to me. It's happened to others. But at the same time, Twitter is a relatively secure platform, so it is said. And this suggests that there were some significant forces behind this particular initiative.
ये उनका अंदर जो खिन लोग हैं, माने असंतुष्ट लोग हैं, जिसके साथ राहुल गांधी ने दुर्व्यवहार किया है, वो पहले से कोड जानते थे, उनका है, ये किसी बार का नहीं.
Really unfortunate. We condemn this. This shows the mindset of certain sections of people who are see, in democracy you may agree or disagree with somebody's views, but to do something like this is unacceptable. It also shows the state of the digital security that exists in our country, the digital India, etc. The big slogans that the government is coming up with, all ring hollow at the moment, and we condemn it. But more than that, I don't think this deserves further reaction.
Let's go straight across to Congress spokesperson Sanjay Jha. Sanjay Jha, raising doubts about digital security in the country is valid, and what has happened indeed is unfortunate. But why suspect a conspiracy behind it?
Well, let me tell you that, the breach of digital privacy in any democratic society is a very disturbing development. Please don't look at the hacking of Mr. Gandhi's account or the Indian National Congress India's account as something in isolation. I will take you back to what happened just a few months ago when roughly 32 lakh debit card holders' data was stolen in a cyber security breach. Now, all these are manifestations essentially of very fragile systems. Today, Mr. Gandhi is one of the leading political opposition leaders. All of us know, and I'm on Twitter, so I'm assuming are you, Avantika, you will agree with me that if somebody today is reading your email or is reading some direct message on my Facebook, that is denying me my fundamental right and freedom of expression to deal with and talk to whoever I want to talk to. Now, when you have political personalities and public figures, if their data is being infringed upon, yesterday the kind of abusive, vituperative and disgusting tweets that was used by the hacker clearly tells you that there is a dangerous game being played out there in the cyber world. And I can understand that, the Congress party has political opponents. We all know that the BJP and Congress are basically at loggerheads on multiple political issues.
True.
But I would rather debate it in Parliament, on social media, on television studios. But to adopt unscrupulous, unethical means, that I think is something that as a society we need to be very seriously concerned about.
No, one indeed needs to be, but government websites are usually the hot targets, for such hackers, Sanjay. I was just reading what Randeep Surjewala had written. He said such unscrupulous, unethical and roguish conduct. Now, when I read the word roguish conduct, I was just wondering just where is the Congress coming in from? We got a reaction from Subramaniam Swamy, who said that this is, their own internal conspiracy. This is nothing but, enemies of Rahul Gandhi and the party who are out there to tarnish the image of the party. What do you have to say to that?
No, I will not waste any time of mine commenting on Dr. Swamy's observations. I think the pertinent point here is very simple. And this is being debated, by the way, not just in India, but worldwide. It even happened during the US presidential elections where, Hillary Clinton was targeted hugely by extreme right-wing fringe elements in America. In India, for example, there's no denying that you have a very powerful troll army, which is unfortunately very extreme on the right-wing fundamentalism side. Now, nobody's denying people the right to their ideologies, even if they are fundamentalist, bigoted or extreme. But when it begins to somewhere result in infiltration, infringement into your and mine privacy rights, then I think it is something that we should be extremely paranoid about. I feel, for example, that when the BJP's head of the information technology cell tweets and says that, well, the Indian media should take note of the conviction of the Karnataka journalist who's been apparently sued in a defamation case. It's a larger statement on freedom of expression. It's almost like a threat to the media fraternity.
Okay.
You have intrusive surveillance happening even in very vibrant democracies. So the BJP and Mr. Modi's government, I have been interacting quite a few with the BJP spokespeople.
True.
Now what they have been saying, instead of expressing apprehensions about the state of digital security in India, they are making it into a political point, which is terribly unfair. It is my right today to feel insecure and ask the government to investigate and find out who is the culprit. The government cannot say that we wash our hands of everything and we will treat it as nothing but an event of an internal hacking, or what Dr. Swamy is alleging. I mean, it is not just about Mr. Gandhi. This is about 130 crore people of India. And if Mr. Modi wants a digital country, a digital economy or a cashless economy, this is an extremely terrible and an awful beginning.
But is the BJP doing that? Let me get in Ijaz Ilmi of the BJP. Is the BJP not taking this seriously? Well, that's a claim that Sanjay Jha is making. Are they washing their hands of the entire hacking episode? Because he also raises a larger issue of, how alarming this could be for any political party, not just the Congress. Now, Ravi Shankar Prasad did assure that cyber security mechanisms are extremely sound. But is it, Mr. Ilmi?
Well, it's very clear what Sanjay Jha is trying to say. Everybody is concerned, and it is a despicable act, kind of hacking that we've seen that has happened with any political leader. In this case, it happens to be Rahul Gandhi. And we've seen numerous world leaders, celebrities, their accounts getting hacked, their emails getting hacked. It is a menace which needs to be fought totally. We understand it. Nobody should be held hostage to ethical or hackers. Your privacy is your own. It is very evident. We have to do something about it, which is why the government is ordering an inquiry in fit of the thing. And Twitter will have to answer as to how they allowed this thing to happen.
Absolutely.
The
Sanjay
internet
Jha,
protocols were violated. The mechanism is controlled by Twitter. They'll have to answer this question: how they allowed hackers to take place in their own accounts.
Take place in their own accounts. Secondly, to link it to ideology, it doesn't make sense. We have hacking because it happens, which happens all the time, and we need to fight it by having secure mechanisms so nobody else is subjected to something like this.
no, that's true. Sanjay Jha, but you sound very different from what the other spokespersons of the Congress has been saying. They've been taking, pot shots at the Prime Minister, questioning his digital plans for India, with Ranjit Surjewala saying that the Indian National Congress has fought such hatred and animosity with Gandhian compassion and tolerance. Why make it a political issue? Why get in the Prime Minister in this? A serious incident has happened to your party where, the emails of the party has been compromised. Your party's vice president's Twitter handle has been hacked. This is an important issue, and why not just take it head on instead of targeting any political party or the Prime Minister?
See, the worry here is that, anybody who understands electronic security, and Avantika, let me just tell you this in a very dispassionate fashion, governments are capable of intrusive surveillance using various software that are very state-sponsored. You see, what is frightening here is, and this is something where, Ijaz is somebody whom I know, and he's a very reasonable spokesperson, and you can see it in his tone and tenor. But as an opposition party, our grave apprehensions are that are certain political parties, especially the Congress, being targeted because, you know, end of day, don't forget that Mr. Rahul Gandhi is the voice of the Congress party. He has been taking on the Prime Minister on the issue of demonetization. And this has become an emotive and a very, very serious issue across the country. Now, we believe the timing is extremely, unnerving. Just when Mr. Gandhi actually talks about pay to Modi on the entire demonetization scheme, we have the hacking happening the same day in the evening. I'm not going to run away from the reality that this could have very serious political implications, and the BJP, since it's a government, needs to investigate it at the highest levels and establish as to who the culprit is. Prima facie, as an opposition party, we have a right to suspect that there are some deeper underlying political strategies or games being played out. And, you know, end of day, the government has huge tools under its current surveillance systems. Are they being abused? Well, that's for Mr. Modi to answer.
Deeper strategies for political gains. That is some, that's a very heavy statement that you made just now, Mr. Ilmi. How would you respond to that? They are questioning the timing of this particular incident, of the way and the manner in which the entire, Twitter handle of the Congress Vice President, who has been at the forefront of the agitation against demonetization, has been hacked.
Well, let me just tell you very clearly, Avantika, that any subterranean innuendo which points fingers elsewhere would be very premature.
Yes, please go ahead.
And I would advise Sanjay Jha, because there is an inquiry on, let Twitter answer, let the government come up, and somebody, whoever is responsible, if he is found, shall be punished with the strictest law. Because if it can happen to one individual like Rahul Gandhi, it can happen to anybody else also. So we need to secure each and every citizen from abuse of hacking of social media accounts.
Absolutely, and stay with me on this. We also have the cyber security law expert Pavan Dugal. Pavan, that's the bane of, the social networking sites. It may be a blessing in disguise by connecting people, but it also falls prey to a lot of, people like these hackers who can do all sorts of things with your particular account.
Sure. So therefore, the two hackings in less than 24 hours of this high-profile nature are only pointing out to one thing. Number one, the hackers have a broader message to give to the nation. And number two, it's a wake-up call for the nation to start working back on cybersecurity. Till now, as a nation, we have only been giving lip service to cybersecurity. We don't have a dedicated law on cybersecurity. The Indian Information Technology Act 2000 is thoroughly inadequate to deal with this phenomenon because hacking is a bailable offense. There's actually no deterrence available against hackers. On top of it, we find that Indian National Cybersecurity Policy of 2013 has just remained a paper tiger. It's not been effectively implemented. So in a scenario like this, when nations of the world have already started working deeply towards cybersecurity laws, China last week came up with a very dedicated law on cybersecurity. Germany has come up with a law on cybersecurity. There's nothing that should prevent India from walking in that direction. And more significantly, as we want to transform India into a digital nation, into the cashless economy, post-demonetization, it's but natural to expect that cybercrime will constantly keep on increasing, that there'll be nothing known as absolute security, and that all of us will have to own up responsibility for cybersecurity. Thinking that the government alone is responsible for cybersecurity is actually a fallacious argument. It's time that each one of us starts contributing towards the cybersecurity of our accounts, of our systems, of our mobile devices. And finally, as we go forward, it will be high time that Indians will have to inculcate amongst themselves a culture of cybersecurity as an integral part of their day-to-day lives. The law needs to be strengthened. The law needs to be effectively enforced. But ultimately, capacity building and creating more awareness amongst users and the entire stakeholders in the ecosystem becomes a much bigger priority to be appropriately addressed as of today.
And that's a very interesting point. Mr. Ilmi, would you like to respond to that? That laws need to be effectively enforced, but do we have stringent and effective, cyber security laws? What are we doing about cyber security? I mean, only when a situation like this comes up, do we have a discussion like this? Do we have talks? Do we have a lot of thought into what can be done? But what about the long-term picture? And perhaps, there needs to be that question asked when we talk about a digital India.
No, I totally agree with you, but don't link digital India and cashless India with the hacking of social media accounts. There is a difference out there. There's a great difference out here. It's clearly understood that this happens globally, and countries, you see it in Russia, US, China, Israel, some segments of them use it as state policy to intimidate people on cybercrime and by hacking. So we understand that there's no gainsaying that we need to strengthen a mechanism manifold, and we're not first of the block. We need a lot of work to be done to ensure that something like this doesn't impact individuals, impact the country. We are facing a grave threat on cybercrime.
No, absolutely, but Digital India Initiative also includes cyber security.
And the government is seriously concerned. Yes.
Right, but you
absolutely
said...
Yes. It does. It does, which is why various protocols, there are 4 different kinds of protocols.
Right, absolutely. Sanjay Jha, going ahead now, would you just accept what Mr. Ilmi had to say, to have some patience, to just allow the investigators to do their job and hope that a thing like this doesn't happen or is not repeated again?
Well, Avantika, I can tell you, Mr. Ilmi is like, one swallow does not make a summer. The other people with him from the BJP have been talking a completely different tune. And I would like to just kind of remind your viewers, really, that, if you remember, Mr. Modi was really whining and dining with Mark Zuckerberg. And yet you find that Facebook today is under strict kind of questioning by the US public for fake news propagation that might have even influenced the US presidential elections. So there are larger, the social media's role in a digital India cannot be ignored. They are in fact inextricably interlinked. So, end of day for Mr. Modi's government, because Mr. Modi has been talking about digital economy in a country where 250 million people aren't even literate enough in terms of reading and writing. There are so many people who are out of the banking system. They don't even have smartphones. So there is clearly, this government is working in contradictions. But when you have a breach of the digital account of Mr. Rahul Gandhi or the Indian National Congress or several other personalities for that matter, the message is clear that the systems in India today are susceptible, vulnerable,
right.
And the fact that you had debit card data being stolen of multiple banks and of multiple individuals tells you that you could tomorrow have your security, national security, nuclear codes can even tomorrow become available in a public domain. Those are worries.
Well, let's just not hope for the worst, but it's really the hackers who are having a field day. Yes, Mr. Ilmi, quickly.
No, let me tell my friend Sanjay Jha, whether on social media, Facebook, Twitter, email accounts, they have been hacked in over 200 countries globally, and each and every country fights it. The service providers like Facebook, like Twitter, are the ones who are clearly answerable, because they can't permit their systems to allow people to be subjected to this trauma. But to blame the government for something like this would be a bit too much.
Well, and that's the point, let's just leave the political bickering aside and just fight the menace. Mr. Ilmi, I'm completely running out of time, but thank you so much.